Man, this comic book sucks! And the reviews online said it was good! I wasted my money! Why didn't somebody tell me?
Hey everybody, this is Spinnerack, and we're getting to our Marvel
Calvin
book
Ellis
of the
is
day,
here.
and our Marvel book is The Totally Awesome Hulk, Banner Hulk 1, The Strongest, right? Oh, this is Generations, it's somehow Generations,
Yeah.
The Banner Hulk, and The Totally Awesome Hulk. I guess that's the title. If you look at the cover, you have Marvel number 1, you have Totally Awesome on the top, and Banner Hulk. And then you have Generations on the side, so I'm guessing that maybe the Generation's supposed to be the spine. So it's kind of weird as far as the way the name is put together. I would expect the Generation to be on the top, but I guess this is some sort of series that Marvel is doing with the Hulk, Generations, where...
Well, it's a series they're doing line-wide where they're having the well-known character of the Hulk with the new character who took over because they decided they needed diversity.
So you're saying that that's gonna happen in Thor?
Yeah, they're doing Thor, and then with Thor they'll have Jane Foster Thor, and then they'll have Cap, and they'll have the Falcon, and blah blah this and blah blah that.
Oh, okay. So I mean, it makes sense as a marketing where you got some new number ones and you got the classic characters, stuff we've asked for, but at the same time, I can't account for the story, but they might, with the new number ones, might push them over the top and take back the number one spot.
Of course.
But,
since when has that never worked?
So I think this is going to work for them, but otherwise, this story, I'm not sure why. I guess, can you have an explanation why they're running into the past characters?
You asking me? Or you asking?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
I didn't see anything in the book. I just read it and I said, okay, somehow this guy's running into this dude.
So the Totally Awesome Hulk, he lands, I guess, close to New Mexico, and the Hulk is fighting General Thunderbolt Ross, old classic Hulk smash.
Yep.
And the look of the Totally Awesome Hulk isn't that much different besides the hair from this artist, so it's kind of weird. So, but you can tell from the dialogue who's who, and then you get to see the little faux Hulk, then you realize who it is. But then they're General Thunderbolt Ross is fighting the Hulk, and they've got tanks and whatnot, and then the Totally Awesome Hulk tries to get him away. So they get the Hulk away, and they're talking, and he doesn't want to tell. When he turns back to Bruce Banner, he doesn't want to tell him everything that he cured Bruce Banner. I guess he's worried about,
cured him, killed him.
Well, that, and but if he cured him, he's not the one who killed him, but he cured him, and he doesn't want to mess up, I guess, timeline or something, so he doesn't bring up all that stuff. There's a little fight between them before that, but, you see Banner, you see Amadeus, and he's like talking to him, and Banner thinks that the wristband controls the stuff, and he's like, no, this is, I can't really talk to you about it. Then they get away. Somehow they hide as humans and get away from a missile blast from a helicopter. Just like, I'm not sure they would survive that. But, the story has to move on. They go, they steal some clothing, some bits about that, and then next thing you know, a little bit more history, and then this monster pops out of nowhere. The monster's there. Amadeus trying to save everyone at once, and this is the first point we see that Amadeus is struggling with the anger and has some possible tragedy to him. So, and then the Hulk has to stop Amadeus from being so angry, because he's getting angry, and then there's a hint where there's some guilt of Amadeus has this thing that he never told anyone. Hulk tells him, "You stop," and punches him like a mile away, and then gives him a guilt trip, which everyone loves in comics. It's a classic Marvel thing, and DC picked up on it too. Where you give the person the guilt trip. You're not as good as you say you are. Blah. It's not that. I'm just paraphrasing. It's not. It's a hypothetical paraphrase. It's not actually there, but it's a pretty long. He complains with Adam. He complains with him a pretty long time, so. And then next thing you know, if you okay with this one, Amadeus Cho's gonna run into Planet Hulk. It's the shortstop. Every time I see Planet Hulk, I think of Planet Rock, so And I know we're not supposed to do it because it's, Africa Bambaataa. But anyway, it just reminds me of Planet Rock. And
Go for it, Pete. Go for it. Zzz.
But yeah, Planet Rock was a big thing. So every time I think Planet Hulk, it's the short shot. Meow, 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 meow.
Oh, I wish we could have got that on film.
We'll get another chance. But anyway, so what are your thoughts on this?
Oh, man. I think I selected this one, and I'm kind of like, I have to apologize. I'm sorry I selected it.
Yep, it was a bad one.
It's just a waste of time. I hate to say that. I really do. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure why the two of these guys are paired together. And I'm reading through this, and it's like, okay, this is the Hulk from years past. This is like Silver Age, Bronze Age Hulk, maybe, depending on where the story is. And I'm asking myself, why am I reading this? And the only reason why I'm reading this is because Marvel painted themselves into a corner, changed off all their characters, and now they have to somehow either try to bring them back or try to facilitate something for readers who love those characters and didn't want them gone. And this is what I'm getting. And there was nothing substantial out of it. There was nothing minuscule to take out of it. That somehow Amadeus Cho, wait a minute, Amadeus Cho was having trouble with his transformations and his anger? Well, if that's the case, you could have just left me the other Hulk, because that's what he was having trouble with for years. So I didn't really need to have that particular change. The dynamic between the two of them, see, DC did this when they had their Zero Hour, and they had characters like Dick Grayson teaming up. This is like Dick Grayson when he was Robin teaming up with Tim Drake as Robin. So this isn't new what they're doing. And they had Superboy from pre-Crisis team up with Superboy of, after Crisis, Connor Kent the Clone. And you got to see the interplay between the two of them, what was the differences. And at some point they actually do make a connection to show what's the core between these two guys, why this character can still continue on in the name of this one. And I read that and I was like, there's nothing here whatsoever. And then it's just like everything's just popping up out of nowhere. There's a monster. It's like, where did the monster come from? Nobody knows. Nobody cares. It's just ragtag here and there, and it was just a very big disappointment. Who wrote the issue?
Oh, let me see. Hold on.
Was it Pack?
Yep, Pack is back.
See,
Pack's man.
And that's an even bigger disappointment because Pack knows how to write the Hulk. He's already shown that he can write some good Hulk stories, and that he can write some of these other characters that he has an affinity for as well. And this right here doesn't smell like it came from, well, it's a company, it's a line-wide thing. So I'm pretty certain it may not have come from him directly or what have you. But this is, for me, such a waste of time. It's either, look, you're bringing back the Hulk or you're going to focus on Amadeus Cho as the Hulk. That's it. But you're trying to have both things here, and it doesn't work because even that Hulk is so far, that's not even the Hulk who got deposed. That's the Hulk from almost 40 years ago. That has progressed, has been developed, and you're bringing us back to the same sad sack maudlin Hulk, which was the same mistake that you used to make before in terms of your progression with him. That's why you guys keep shifting the character out and putting somebody else in, because you don't know what to do with this character. And even in this one right here, you have the whole Generations thing. There should be something where the reader gets to see, okay, this is the connection between the two of them. This is why Amadeus Cho can continue on. Maybe not in the same fashion as Bruce Banner, but he can still continue on. This is where the core of this particular character, Hulk, is shared by both of them. If you want to do that whole sort of legacy thing, and it just never happens.
Well, for me, I think one of the things that Marvel, I guess is more of a Peter David thing, because Peter David never liked the Green Hulk, which, I mean, what was it? The early Hulk that Stan Lee wrote was a character that wasn't successful. They figured a way and they sort of built on that, and it was a simple characterization of the Hulk smash. But if you look at this, like in this format, I'm able to look at the page, like it doesn't even sound like the Hulk. What's the name? The Amadeus Cho says Banner, and the Hulk's like, "Shut up! You think you're so great." Come in here and get a Banner all excited, talking like you got it all figured out. When deep down, you know the truth. You got the monster in the trunk, don't you? It's like, what Hulk is that? it's like the other the. I mean, this is the thing that Pac has that Pac doesn't necessarily look at the Earth. It's like this is a mixture of, I guess, the Shrunk Hulk that Peter David did with the Green Hulk's face, because the Hulk doesn't remember stuff. When he runs into people, he's trying to figure out if you're a friend or an enemy. He's not trying to figure out your psychological makeup. He's trying to be like, okay, I just want to be left alone, but I'm fine having a friend. And it's like, oh, you're not fighting me? We can just hang out. And if he sees you getting mad, like, no, hey, he probably, I think when the Juggernaut tries to befriend him, saying, I'm not your enemy, and then they work and they try to beat up all the army people together, all through that, the Hulk is like, there's aspects of doing it, and I'm not sure what period this Hulk is, because, the early Hulk would never really talk like that, and the moments of, brilliance in the out of the mouths of babes moment is always few and far between, but they're fun. Like this type of talk, I don't know what period this Hulk is from, because he doesn't worry about what secrets you're hiding and that sort of thing. He just, once you turn on him, that's when you're gonna catch it, and that's what it is. Like, I mean, Pac is at a point he can do right whatever he wants. No one's gonna look. He's got Hulk immortality. They're gonna be like, this is fine. Every time Peter David used to go back and he wrote, almost Super Baby Hulk instead of what that middle ground that Lean Wayne and Roy Thomas used to do, and Roger Stern, that sort of thing. They sort of moved from that, and but he's immortal now. He goes to the Hulk. You just want him back. Peter David can't come back to the Hulk and do anything. So it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot more to say about it. I was just thoroughly disappointed.
Yeah. Well, see how this does, and maybe Marvel take their top spot, regretfully, and for the wrong reasons. Because, we can complain about Rebirth and the different stories, and,
Now, DC needs to take the top spot and hold it for a few years. I think it's that time, because I believe that Marvel understands the marketing, and I think they were better storytellers overall in all the years that I would read, comics. I always thought that they had a handle on that. But they really lost their way in the last 2 or 3 years, primarily with the change of Thor into Jane Foster. And these guys are over here, some of it, look, Marvel always decided, they would look out their window, they see people protesting, we'll create a new hero based on the protest, it would be Protest Man, and they would go that particular route with it. But the stories used to be okay. You had the teen stuff going on. Okay, they did a whole bunch of teen heroes. You had the women's movement. We got Ms. Marvel. You would come over, Black Panther is born out of that sort of looking out of your window and seeing what's going on. Here they looked out of the window and they made the changes without any stories coming behind them. And this story right over here is still along that way. I think they need a couple of years of being number 2 so they can realize, okay, what was it that we were good at? And we were good at the storytelling and the marketing. We got half of that, because we know if we put out some number 1s and do some flashy covers, we'll make money, but we don't have the substance anymore. DC, on the other hand, with Rebirth, as much as that is still on somewhat shaky ground and thin ice, has been better in the overall execution. So I can always trust DC to drop the ball, to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. I can always trust them to do that. But let's see how it works out, because one of these guys need a push, and they don't need a push from fans not buying books. They need a push from each other in terms of creative competitiveness, and that's just not there. It looks like most of the time they're just trying to survive. Just trying to make money and keep things afloat instead of, hey, look at what these guys are doing. These are some really good ideas. Why don't we do something like that? That's how we got the Fantastic Four. They looked, hey, why don't we put all these characters together? Hey, yeah, we got Justice League. Hey, look, they did Justice League. Can we do something like that? Sure. Why don't we do our own thing? We get the Fantastic Four. That's where these guys really need to be at. And I don't think Marvel is going to get there as long as they realize, hey, we can put out 60 number 1s and 5 variant covers for each of them, and we'll be fine.
So can't say much. It wasn't a good issue, and But Greg Pak is back, so there's some fans that are come to see that and see how this plays out, and especially if the next issue is, Amadeus Cho running into the Planet Hulk, and then maybe he'll run into the World War Hulk later after that.
Yeah,
So they wanted to
then
make.
the Maestro and everybody else.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that. So, well, all right. So, thank you guys for listening, and Spinnerack out.
Catch you.
Thanks, Spinnerack. You saved me money.